Other link.
Yo, can you hear my mic?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, I
Like
can
I
hear
It
need
you.
to
sounds
turn it up every
you
time.
sound weird, but not because of
Yeah,
your
you
volume. You have
sound
like
like you're in the.
feedback.
You sound like you're in the shower.
That's so weird. All right, what about now?
That sounds better. That sounds better.
All right, so
Yeah, you don't got any background noise now.
I feel like it needs to be way louder every time I hear our recordings. But I naturally don't talk loud anyway.
How do I go back to my big screen?
Yeah, let me know if I'm screaming. I have this thing called being Italian, so just let me know if I'm talking too loud.
You sound perfect on my end, Luke.
Okay, cool. I purposely
Back to my
used my
chat.
AirPod because I figured that would help.
Yo, the
All right.
time I used my beats, they were awful.
All right, the
It's
link
like
is in
AirPod technology, bro.
the live stream link is in the chat. I just sent it to y'all. I'm about to also tweet it. I should tweet it.
I don't see. You said you just sent it in the chat.
In the Zoom chat, not the DM
Oh, see.
chat.
Now you're.
All right, let me tweet this from our account.
Yeah, here you tweet it from your account. That's how I'll get a hold of it because I'm not gonna act like I'm well versed in Zoom.
Our coach's wife being a stripper, but that's old news. I've been on that.
That's
Yo, have you guys heard this deal with this Longhorns coach? A monkey. He had a monkey at a Halloween party.
As a stripper, but I've been known about this for the longest.
I'm glad I'm a Georgia football fan. That's all I will say.
That's right. More eagle.
Dude, when you jinx the Georgia football team and they come for you,
oh God, if that happens,
you're gonna be kicked out of Georgia the same way you're kicked out of Jamaica. you're gonna get a map of just places you can't go. You're gonna mark it.
I'm
vacation in Atlanta
right now. Let me tweet this. I'll tweet the link. All right, we are live, and I tweet the link so y'all can go retweet it. Then we can get started.
Oh, here we go. Try to do here.
What's over here?
Teach, I'm still so mad you have your 4.0.
I'm in the game, bro. I'm in the fucking game. It's beautiful. It is indeed beautiful. So tweet that. I did tweet that, right? Yes.
Yep. It tweeted out.
All right, perfect. Let me retweet from my main account and then we're ready to go. All right, brothers. We are live. This is our first live pod. Forgive us for not having this up on the Underhooks YouTube page yet. It'll be there next time. We have some technical difficulties, but we are up. We are live. This is episode 4 of the Underhooks podcast, and I will let my esteemed co-hosts and our guests introduce themselves now.
Well, I am Stefan, aka Mr. Blah Blah. So it's great for y'all to be here to see us live.
I am Luke at Hashy Larry, and I am absolutely hyped to be here, ready to go.
So make sure you have your slander ready. This is a slanderous show.
So obviously, the natural place to start. We just had a card in Abu Dhabi. We just finished UFC 267 on Saturday, and so let's start from the top. We got a new light heavyweight champion, and both me and Stefan got that pick wrong, but we did tell y'all we liked the betting odds, and we were betting on Glover, but we thought Jan would win it, and Jan did not win it. Fellas, tell me what y'all thought of that fight.
I mean, nobody picked Jan. Anybody that says they knew Glover was going to win is lying. I'm sorry.
See,
like I love to see it happen. I love to see it happen, but your brain, like, There's the smart pick and there's the heart pick.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like me and Teach went back and forth several times about the heart thing, and yeah, you're right there. There's no way anybody was gonna pick the 42-year-old to win.
Nah, I'm not putting money on any 42-year-old to do anything. I'm just not. But I'm absolutely elated it happened. I mean, it's spectacular. It's awesome. I love it for Glover. I hate what comes next because Jury is going to hurt him, and I don't want to see that.
It could be scary hours. It was weird to, Glover kind of dominated the fight. I mean, Jan didn't really have moments in this fight. Glover kind of dominated from start to finish. So I was really shocked by that. If he was going to win, I thought it was going to be a war.
Stefan gave me shit for saying round one was 10-8, which it might not have been 10-8, but Jan didn't have a moment in
there.
He didn't have a moment. It was like, what, damn near 5 minutes of control time. He got outstruck.
He literally didn't have a moment.
He didn't have a moment. I mean, it wasn't a 10-8, but it was the heaviest 10-9 ever.
And
Glover said
I had to leave right when that fight was starting. So I was like trunk or treating and running into kids while also trying to watch the fight at the same time. But yeah, it wasn't a fight. I mean, I don't know what Young was doing. I mean, it was I don't know. I didn't expect that. I expected it to be competitive, and I gave Glover a way better chance than, most people would have given him, but it was just not a fight. It was not competitive at all. I don't know if his hair wasn't in it or what, but didn't expect that outcome.
He didn't even really seem to know what to say. He was just kind of like, I left the Polish power in my hotel.
Glover said when he gets takedown in round one, and Glover said, I knew now he was going to be looking for a takedown so I could strike easier. And then when he landed a big left in round two, and Jan was in hell. And then Glover said, at that point, I knew he's going to be looking for the hands. I knew I can get on his back. And that's how the fight went. It was that simple. He said, I hit him one good time. Now he's thinking about punches. Now I'm getting my takedown. And he got on his back. And once he's flattened him out, you can literally hear DC starting to get excited, because once you get a guy flattened out and you're on his back, I mean, unless you are top level BJJ expert, you're done. Like, you're flattened on the ground and the guy's on your back. And it was over. And he tapped. Jan tapped really fast. I didn't think that he was under the neck yet, and he was already tapping. But I guess at that point, there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to take more damage if I don't tap. So maybe just.
I also wonder how much of it was a crank. It was like he had that jaw crank going. Like, it might just have hurt.
It looked painful as hell. Okay, I'm not taking anything from you. It looked extremely painful. Not to mention in round one, he's doing he's putting his head into his face when he's on the ground and elbows and all that. It just did not look like Jan was having a good time in there at all. And I cannot blame anybody for wanting to unsubscribe for that kind of pain, because it looked like it was awful.
Does Glover just have like upsetting old man strength? Because like it reminds me of the way he just absolutely manhandled Anthony Smith too. Where it was the way like, he did Anthony Smith just cowered. He just cowered like a child and just proceeded to get just wailed on.
It's crazy. We have a 42-year-old light heavyweight champion. Obviously, an amazing story. We talked about it a little bit on the last episode. You've heard a lot about it if you watched any of the stuff pre-fight or post-fight. But Glover was trying to get over here starting in 2004. He was supposed to be on the second season of The Ultimate Fighter, which is insane. And it didn't happen because he couldn't clear up his visa. He spends 8 more years in Brazil. Then he comes over. Eventually, he loses to John Jones in a title fight, and he's got to get it back in blood. And he at 40 plus years old, he's run through the division. And we all know the division is not that great of a division since John Jones left it. It's kind of barren.
Even before John Jones left it, but
it's true. And we can be very honest about John Jones on this podcast. But, now it's like Yuri was the backup fighter, and now it looks like Yuri's going to get the shot. And this is a great moment for Glover, but oh my God, that is not the kind of
I think
fight I want to fight.
Jury's taking either of them. Whoever Jury, like, I don't think Jan's got what Jury's offering. The way he just eats punches is terrifying, and then the way he returns them is just, it's his moment right now, I feel like.
It's like defense isn't a part of his game plan.
But Glover running back, he was like anxious to go ahead and defend your title. Like, bro, you are 42. Like,
go on vacation. Take that thing to the bar. Get some drinks.
Yeah, like this is it. Like you are getting another 5-year run. This is it. You are 42, bro. If you want to ride this out to 43, take a year off. Go the Aljo route.
Praying
Hope
he
the
was gonna
Aljo
like
route.
immediately retire. I thought he was gonna immediately retire. I thought it was gonna be like this beautiful, like I'm the champ, take the gloves off.
Me too.
But he's just a competitor. I should have known better because he was just immediately like, I'm ready for the competitor. Let me enjoy this for a little bit. And yeah. And
You gotta take the free check.
Yuri.
You gotta get the free check. Now he's gonna share in pay-per-view points. Go get the free check, bro. Even if you get cleaned up in your next fight, you're gonna make a shitload of money from it. And more power to him. But I thought it would have been the perfect moment to retire right there. But then I thought about it for 2 seconds. I was like, nah, you sharing the pay-per-view points now. It's a different level of money. Go get your bread, bro.
You got to at least cash out.
I thought about
get the next one.
What I thought about was how perfect, not perfect, but how sneaky and evil would this be? But John Jones' ass comes back down to fight him one more time. I mean, I'm told you, John Jones runs away from every real challenge. That's his whole heavyweight deal. I told you how I felt about that. But now he's like, okay, I get to go back and beat this old man's ass again. And now I'm like the great John Jones all over again.
I wouldn't be shocked if he did it. I just don't think he can now because he's bulked up too heavy.
He's gonna have to cut a lot of weight to go back down.
Unless he's losing weight. Is he losing weight in jail right
That's
now?
what cocaine is for. That's what cocaine is for.
It's true. It's true.
Man has a history of this.
There are very few people in the world that have a coke problem and a weight problem. It's just a fact.
That's true. It's it'll be interesting to see what they do with Jan. Apparently, Jimmy Smith said today in an interview that they reached out to him the night of and said if he had any interest in fighting Jan, and Jan is going to want to get back in there soon. So we'll see what comes of Jan. But Jan is not the youngest dude either. Jan's 38, I think. So
yeah, he's on the high end of 30.
He's not on the youngest side either. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jan. Both those dudes were great. Both those dudes were so nice to each other leading up to the fight. And I definitely like a fight with a little bit of fire leading up to it, but I also like a fight where people just have respect for each other and show sportsmanship. Both those make me feel just as good. So I really liked the fact that, Jan gave him a beer from his brewery before, and Glover was saying he's going to go drink it. And you feel bad for Jan, but you feel great for Glover. And it was just a really cool moment.
What about Paulo fighting Jan?
That would be very interesting if Dana actually holds true and makes Paulo fight it, because he's going to fight that tooth and nail. He does not want to go up to light heavyweight.
I think he would be way better there.
I think he would be too. I think his weight cutting is his problem. I think that's why he was so trash. I think it played into why he was so trash against Adesanya. I think he's just cutting a horrific amount of weight, and he's walking in with like his brain's a dry sponge.
And you can tell it. That's what me and Teej talked about last time. He is so ripped, like at that weight. And this has to be a terrible cut, and there's no way you should look that ripped.
He's dropping almost 40 pounds. He could walk in at I'm sure he walks around 215, 220.
He on the night of the fight for Vittori, they said he was 220.
That's what I'm saying. Day of, he's 220. That's 40 pounds.
I hope he stays up there. I hope he stays there, and I think he could look better, but obviously he did well for himself in the way he fought Vittori, even though everything he did before the fight was awful. I'd love to see him at light heavyweight, and there's not a lot of stars in that division, so go have some fun.
No, there's not. It's a more exciting division to shake up because, honestly, Izzy's not going anywhere anytime soon. Yep. Unless Whitaker does it, I don't really see anybody else doing it. Whitaker could, just because I believe in Bobby Knuckles, but I just go to the division that's actually up for grabs. Like, light heavyweight's up for grabs at the end of the day right now.
I can tell you who's not going to beat Izzy is going to be Costa. I don't care if he puts him in there 5 times. That guy is not beating Izzy. He's just the style.
No, he's just not. He's the wrong guy for it.
Exactly.
Either somebody is going to out wrestle Izzy, a la Jan, at that weight, or he's gonna Bobby Knuckles is gonna catch him with the pat.
But even in that division, I don't even know who would wrestle.
I don't think there's nobody on the radar right now. There's nobody on the radar right now. It's a hypothetical. Yeah, there's nobody on the radar right now that is a high enough class of grappler or wrestler to do that to him.
Our solution
We
is
gotta-
to go back to the old UFC, wild pride days where there's no weight class. We just have a free for all.
No, please, God, don't bring that back.
Definitely bring
Please,
it back.
You can soccer kick, but Izzy can't soccer kick. He's the only one that's not allowed to soccer kick.
I want to take us now to the next fight, which I also got wrong. Stefan got it right. This is the interim title
baby.
at bantamweight. This was Jan and Sandhagen. This is actually a great fight, but Jan dominated this fight.
I think it was closer than the card said, but he dominated. It was 3-2 at best.
Y'all are biased, but my man,
I'm a little biased.
That's right. Y'all a little biased. It's okay though.
How'd you have it? You had a 4-1?
Yeah. Outside of the first round,
fair.
where he was just kind of, getting his motion, and they talked about how Jan always starts slow because he's getting his reads on you. And I saw you tweeted Tej about, how Corey was moving and Jan wasn't, able to get a good beat on him. I said, that's cool. We're going to sit here and chill because he was doing nothing but reading him. Then when time came, he applied full pressure on Corey.
I can't believe I ever doubted Jan. The guys, it's such a fascinating fight to watch because you see in the first round, Corey is peppering him, and he didn't hit him with anything that you think, oh shit, Corey might finish him. But okay, he's gonna point him. His road to victory is by pointing him, and then Jan hits him with one or two absolute fucking shithouse punches, and all of a sudden it's like Corey isn't moving the same way anymore. And you can't. It's not Corey's fault. You can't. Once you get hit, once your power meter starts to go down, all that movement is out the window. You're just trying to survive in there, and so it became really clear in rounds 2 and definitely 3. Once Corey started getting hit with some shots that you can pepper me all you want, but your peppering shots aren't slowing me down. And every time I hit you with what I want to hit you with, you're slowing down just a little bit. And at some point, you're going to slow down so much that you're not going to continue the fight anymore. That's what happened.
I think Corey was kind of effed when the takedowns didn't work. I thought that was maybe his inroad at one point. But like he's got some funky submissions and he's got some moves. But when it didn't really work, it was over because then they were just going to stand and bang, and he was never going to win that.
If you have your one go-to, when it doesn't work, shit hits the fan. It's like, oh God, what do I do now? My ace in the hole did not work.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna come out and trick him with a knee like Frankie Edgar.
He tried so many times of that too. I was
he's gonna eat up the rest of that division doing shit like that, but it's not happening with Jan.
Jan is just he's so strong to be that size. It's like it's misplaced in the division. Like as hard as he can hit you, Sandhagen can knock you out, but he's got to use some kind of spinning attack, or he's got to use his knee. He's got to use something super powerful that's going to take a charge up. Whereas Jan could just hit you with a hook or a counter punch, and it's just like, oh my God, he just hits so hard. And in the beginning of the fight, the announcers were saying he's loading up too much. In my head, I was thinking that's how all of his punches look. He's not loading them up. That's just how he punches. All of his punches are hard as hell, but when he starts landing them, it's going to be very scary. And that's what happened. Once he started landing those punches, it was like Corey wasn't the same guy. And how could you be when you're getting punched like that with power that you can't return? It doesn't matter what you land if you can't return it with the same amount of power and slow the guy down as much as he's slowing you down.
We talked about that, like maybe, I don't know, episode 2 with P when we were talking about boxing and, how boxers are able to hit you with those good, striking and good concentration punches. And when you're not out there throwing wild, so you're not wasting a lot of injury. But when you're hitting, it does actual damage. And you saw so many times he was peppering him. And then when he started mixing the uppercuts, he hit him with 2 uppercuts. I was like, oh shit. Like, this may end this fight. So I think it was really cool to see his boxing technique, because I feel like that's one of those things that is so different for MMA fighters. You only see so many guys that are really, really good boxers too. They can do a little bit of everything, but they're really good boxers. And I feel like that changes that dynamic so much more.
Agreed.
What do you do now? Obviously, we know the reunification bout is probably going to be next for Jan, and Aljo's already out talking. Aljo said, this is from Aljo, y'all, not me. Aljo said he wasn't himself in the first fight, and he said he's excited to get back in there, and he said he wants to be in there January, February at the latest. Okay, we'll see.
Aljo, but Aljo was a really
sure.
good
Yeah. Whatever. He's
burned a
a
lot of
dead man
bridges.
walking, but
It's just Jan's division. I mean, Aljo already beat Corey, and he beat him real quickly. So it's not like Aljo's bad. I don't want to take away from him just because I hate him. He's not a bad fighter. But Jan is just head and shoulders above the division, and I don't know who in that division is going to have anything to say about it. He did Aldo horrible. Jan is just doing everybody so badly.
He's putting Dillashaw to sleep if that fight ever happens. He's putting Dillashaw to sleep.
That's facts.
Because Sandhagen doing all his stupid spinning shit that like was the reason why he ended up losing on the card, even though I don't think he lost on the card. But like all that spinning shit that he was able to still hit Dillashaw with, he didn't even bother to try on Jan.
Yep.
And if Jan hits if Jan hits him the way Sandhagen was able to hit him with the volume, Dillashaw going night.
It's gonna be a quick fight.
I think Aljo, again, he got so much bad press because of this crap, and it makes me hate him because leading up to this, I really, really liked him. But if he takes this to a ground game, it may be closer with Jan. And I was surprised at how little
he's got to get it there, though.
And that's the issue of getting it there without taking a haymaker that, lays you.
Yeah, I mean, he's a high level. I don't want to take away. That man has high level jiu-jitsu. Like, the way he was able to put Sandhagen away quickly, I was shocked. I don't think it would necessarily happen again. I think that rematch is probably the most interesting fight to make in the future because I think it's very possible Sandhagen gets that one back. But
that one was like a first round loss, right?
Yeah,
it was like 90 seconds.
Came out and just like shot a wild. What was it? It was some kind of a leg lock or a choke.
It was like a rear naked choke, I want to say.
It was like a rear naked, and he just shot it out of nowhere. Like
he put him away fast,
super quick.
I don't see how. If you give me anybody in that division, I don't see how that person, whoever you would choose, beats Jan in the way he's been fighting. I just don't see it. I don't think anybody has what it takes. The people that wrestle got to deal with the fact that he doesn't really get taken down very easily, and while you're trying to take him down, he could knock your head off. The people that strike, like Rob Font, for example. Rob Font just boxed Cody Garbrandt's face off, and he uses jab because he's such a long guy. I don't think that's going to do anything to Jan. You're going to jab his face off, and he's going to let you jab his face off for a round. He's going to pick up the reason, and he's going to beat the shit out of you. Like
it's going to look a lot like the Sandhagen fight. It's going to Font will come out fast in the first, and everybody will get excited for a second, and he's going to pick up his footwork, and Jan's going to do what he does.
Jan is a different kind of guy, and I think that he is the one real true champion, and he's going to be that for a long time. And Aljo's going to do a lot of talking, and I respect that he's doing the talking, but he's absolutely a dead man walking. And when that fight happens, you will come back to this podcast and this episode and see that we've been telling y'all that kid has no chance. I'm sorry.
See, I don't respect his shit talking because he's doing all the wrong kind of shit talking. Like there's a better way to go about all of this as sort of the paper champ, as it were. Like, and he's talking an egregious level of shit for a guy. It's like, dude, we watched the fight. You were losing before the illegal knee.
Like, it wasn't even close. That man was getting destroyed. And I want to say again, they lost me Monday that night. I will never forget that night. I had a ton of money on that fight. That was bullshit. But he
looked like Ryan. He looked like Ryan Hall. He kept doing like the weird jiu-jitsu rolls. I'm like, dude, don't. Go to Submission Underground with this shit. Peter Yan.
Aljo said that was his worst outing, and that was Peter Yan's best outing. That's what Aljo said.
It was his worst outing. I was 100%.
Yeah, he was right there. He didn't tell a lie.
Oh, yeah. So that it's gonna get very interesting. That division is so much fun, but the tippy top of that division might not be a lot of changeover because Jan just looks like a different guy. So.
No, but there's a lot of fun fights to make in the meantime.
A ton of fun fights.
All the Bantam fights this year have been great. Everybody's gunning. Like, it's been fun.
What we got next? Oh, we got Islam Makhachev. This is a pick that both Stefan and I got right. Man, props to Dan Hooker, but holy shit, Islam Makhachev.
No, Stefan picked Hooker.
That's true.
He took the value
Stefan,
bet.
he took the value.
Set the record straight.
I get it, but it was never going to happen. It's a value bet for a reason, pal.
Well, Islam Makhachev the fight didn't. Hooker couldn't really get into his offense. He couldn't really do anything, and once Islam got a hold of him,
Islam finished him quicker than Chandler did. He beat Chandler by about 5 seconds. Chandler had him sleeping in 230, and he had his arm twisted around in 225.
And if Chandler got a title shot from coming into the UFC and beating Dan Hooker,
that was absolutely the most bullshit title shot ever. But yeah,
Islam has 9 straight wins, and depending on how things go in that division, there's a lot to be settled in the lightweight division. But if Chandler wins, if Chandler beats Gaethje and DP wins, they're not going to give Chandler another shot. Or sorry, if Oliveira wins, they're not going to give Chandler another shot at Oliveira. We just saw that fight, so Islam could step in. However, that's not going to happen. But if Gaethje beats Chandler, then Islam's been great, but Gaethje's going to get the shot. Gaethje's supremely popular. People love Gaethje, and people are just waiting for Gaethje to get another shot of the title. Now
Islam will have his pick of anybody left of that top 4, though. It's like whoever the losers are, he's either going to get Chandler, he's going to get Oliveira, he's going to get whoever loses any one of those fights.
He's gonna do Chandler bad if Chandler loses this fight and he ends up having.
And I want to see it.
I don't know.
I'm a supreme Chandler hater. I want to see it.
No, look, we all hated Chandler, but that first fight got my respect. Even the second fight,
coming out and putting Hooker to sleep was cool.
I'm tired of Chandler. The way
they
he's so
All-American.
They
gave him a speed track. They gave him a speed track to the title shot, and I just can't. Yeah, I can't help be annoyed. It's not good for not that I care about Dana and his brand or whatever, but it's not a good look when you just let a dude come in from another org and just immediately. I get you respect him, and he was a champ over there, but it left a funky taste in my mouth the way that they just let him just leapfrog everybody. You sleep Dan Hooker, which is it's cool. It's it's not something everybody's done, but. And then you just immediately get the shot at the title.
Well, let's be a little bit fair and remember that the reason why Chandler was in that fight is because Poirier didn't want the fight because Poirier was going to make some money.
Around. Yeah,
but it still looked bad. It still looked like we don't think that this guy belongs in the title fight. But that being said, in the beginning of that title fight, it looked like he was going to finish Charlie Olives, and then he didn't. But it looked like he was going to for a second.
Gaethje,
so I'm interested.
Gaethje should have had that shot. That's what the problem was. Gaethje should have had the shot.
I agree.
Right then and there. That should have been Gaethje Oliveira, and now it kind of streamlines everything that's going on right now because we would already have Gaethje Oliveira settled.
So what do you do? I don't know what you do with Hooker now, but again, Hooker has Dana loves Hooker.
You let Hooker fight anybody behind him. I think Hooker Ferguson is a fight to make. Hooker,
oh my God, Hooker
McGregor,
Ferguson would be incredible.
Hooker McGregor would be a fight to make if Conor will act like will humble himself and realize that he's not a top 5 guy anymore.
Dariush is sitting, but he's the number 3 lightweight in the world.
Yeah.
People are thinking that maybe if things don't play out the way Islam wants them to play out and he gets the title shot, that's who Islam's going to fight next.
That would be a really, really good fight to make.
That would be good violence. I would be waiting.
They're managed by the same guys, so we could run into the same rub that we always run into when they're
nobody wants to devalue their own guy. Yeah, he's not going to want to devalue Dariush because it's kind of lose for Beneil because he's already pretty much ready to get the title shot or damn close.
Yeah,
he could fight somebody else. Away. Yep. He's a fight away, and it doesn't have to be Islam.
Yep.
So it's lose for Beneil. I would love to see it, but on I don't know. It doesn't make sense for Beneil because if he loses, now he's out of the picture.
Stefan, was a piece of you scared when you saw Islam do that? Was a piece of you scared that your man Dustin Poirier is in infinite amount of trouble when that fight does happen? If it ever happens, were you scared? Yes or no?
I saw a lot of the flashbacks. So Dustin and Khabib.
I know you saw the Khabib flashbacks.
Motherfucker off me. I was like, oh God, here we go again. So tired of Khabib and these little monsters that he's making.
He's got an army.
He has a whole. It's not
A
fair.
whole, he inherited an army from his father. It's incredible. It's like some middle century shit.
And they're all across. They're in every weight division, and they're all across every goddamn organization. There's some of them in PFL. There's some of them in Bellator, and they're just beating the shit out of everyone.
At some point, they will have a belt in all three major orgs, and that's going to be the sickest part.
That's going to happen soon. Like they'll
it's going to be
they're
soon.
everywhere. It's insane. Khabib is literally building an army.
If Islam wins and then Khabib fights him, I know Khabib's not coming back, but that would be fun.
No, and he wouldn't come back to fight him either.
I know, of all people.
He's not going to come back and fight.
He made so much money. That man is not coming back. He's just like, no, we're going to get 10 champions as opposed to just me being the one champion. We're going to get 10 more now.
And people don't realize the level of stardom he has in Russia.
But the one man
he's the most popular. He's the most popular Muslim athlete in the world. Like that man is never going to hurt for money ever.
No.
So yeah, that fight was amazing, and obviously Islam had a lot of hype coming in. He was a huge favorite, and he definitely lived up to the hype. We're going to skip the middling heavyweight fight, but I will acknowledge that when Stefan told me, I don't know why you're picking Tybura. He's not impressive, and he was not impressive. He was fat, and I just like fat fighters. But this fat fighter did not.
I do too, but I don't like Tybura. I have something against him. He's infinitely boring. Even when he's won, I felt nothing. He's knocked guys out.
It was an absolute stinker.
Nothing. It wasn't like
an awful fight.
This card was great. That fight was a bathroom time. It was an absolute stinker. That was a
terrible fight to plug in the middle, regardless, because that's absolutely what happens in a mid-level heavyweight fight. If you don't get a knockout, it's suddenly the boringest fight on the card, no matter what happens.
Yep.
They're too big. It's just not. It gets slow, and then there's just if the knockout never happens, there's nothing to watch.
Too much meat.
Volkov got the win, but it was very unimpressive. We'll see what happens with Volkov next.
They're both forever in that chunk of the division. Him and Tybura are going to exist between 7 and 15 for the rest of their lives.
As soon as Volkov lost the gun,
it'd be like 7-5 right now.
Yeah. Volkov exists to prove you're a legitimate heavyweight. Like on your way up, you have to fight Volkov.
That's right.
Yes,
you got to prove that you can handle like a faster, slightly more technical heavyweight. That's what he exists. He's a gatekeeper. That's what he exists for.
If you can go beat Volkov, then people will say maybe you can go beat Gon. But without beating Volkov, no one's going to know
you can beat Volkov. You beat Volkov, we'll give you Derek Lewis.
Exactly.
That might be like best case scenario.
The star of the show is my guy, Kazmat Chimaev. Holy fucking shit, you guys! He fights his first ranked fighter. And it's like he's fighting a toddler. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
So when I rewound it and I watched it again today, like I know they were like, "Oh, he's talking to Dana," but like he literally had this man like I pick up my 2-year-old and was like literally
he moved the fight.
I'm like,
he moved him.
He moved him just so he could get closer to Dana.
But like, it's one thing to be like, like Khabib was talking trash to Conor at the time he was punching him, and it was like in between punches. But no, this man literally like scooped him up, walked him over there, talked to Dana, punched him in the head, talked to Dana, drug him down, talked to Dana. I was like, damn, this is really impressive.
And they were talking a lot of shit. Leach was talking a lot of shit before this fight in a little promo they ran. Leach is basically saying, look, this guy is a big star, but he hasn't ever beat anybody. Now he's coming up to fight somebody like me. I'm ranked. I'm better than the guys he's fought. I can't believe that I'm such a – because he was also a big underdog. And so he's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And then it looked like he didn't even belong in there. This is the number 11 fighter in the world who was like, oh, this guy never belonged in the ring with Chimaev in the first place. Like the COVID diagnosis, none of that shit had anything to do with the fight. Chimaev just came in there and dominated this man and said, I'm going to beat Brock Lesnar or whoever the fuck else you put in this ring.
Right. What'd you say, T? The UFC tried to give him COVID?
They tried to give my man COVID, and it just didn't work. It is scary hours for the welterweight division, and I got on Stefan for having flashbacks about Khabib and Poirier. When I saw Chimaev doing this, I said, if he does my go Usman like this, I will stop watching the sport. I am not emotionally prepared for him to treat my champion in that manner. I did not like seeing that. I love Chimaev. Luckily, he's not getting a title fight anytime soon, but I'll tell you what, Leon better watch the fuck out, because if he does not go and starch Jorge, and I don't mean beat Jorge. I don't even mean beat him 5-0, or I guess the 3-round fight. So if he doesn't beat him, if he just beat him 30-27, I don't mean that. I mean he has to go finish Jorge in order for him to keep that title fight. Because if Chimaev gets back in that ring, fight somebody in the 7-5 range,
if he smokes
and destroys them,
Chiesa or Luque. If he puts either of those two in the mud,
I said Luque.
He's gonna go take his shot.
That's the fight to make, because Luque is a violent man that will not be afraid, and he won't even try. Like he's just gonna come out swinging to the point to try to avoid any kind of takedown, and it's gonna
that would be a fucking
shit.
great fight. Oh my god. Who do you? I think Leon is in trouble. Leon had of anybody who did not fight last night, Leon had the worst night, because now you have not only another viable fighter in the division who people know, you have a star in the division who's ascending, and he might ascend faster than you in your slow climb to the championship belt. Now that puts even more pressure on Leon to go take care of business, because Dana has shown that he does not want Leon anywhere near a title fight, because Leon is not as popular. He's not finishing his fights. And Chimaev gives Dana the perfect excuse to not put Leon in a title fight. So that is not great for Leon Edwards.
And you know how I feel about Leon.
Stefan wants to slander Leon.
I'm trying to change over a new leaf. I'm not going to slander him right now. But, all right, here's the thing. These guys are really great personalities. They're really quick rising stars. But, like devil's advocate is, like, they both fought guys who have 3 losses coming into these fights, too. Like how much of it is you're fighting somebody on the decline as much as you're really dominant. But the thing I think you have to take away is from it, those were dominant ass wins. It wasn't like they just grinded it out. They really
He's been hit once in 4 fights.
He's been hit once in 4 fights.
His significant strike advantage over his opponents is 112-1.
That's insane. You can't do that. That's not a thing that can happen.
I want to see one more fight. I just don't think he won't get it because it's lose for anybody. A champ's not taking him because he's going to take the 11. He's going to end up at 10 maybe on the welterweight charts. Nobody's putting their belt on the line for the 10 spot guy. It's not happening.
Especially not who's looked like that.
Not him. It's lose. It's like if I win, I beat the number 10 guy, and if I lose, I'm suddenly falling down. I'm going from champ to the middle of the fucking board.
I could see
nobody's gonna do it.
If he loses, Kobe might fight him just on some racist shit.
Yeah, Kobe's scared.
Hold on, we're gonna get to that later.
Kobe, his heart is of a coward. He has a coward's heart.
We hate Kobe.
I would love a Luque fight, but if you're looking at that welterweight division, I think the amount of fighters I would pick Chimaev against right now is large. I'm just talking about the fighters in front of him. I'm not talking about anybody behind him.
All right, so
when he gets Wonder Boy's getting put in the mud. I know that.
I want to see him beat Gilbert Burns. I'm so tired of Gilbert Burns talking. I want him to go destroy Gilbert Burns. I had enough, bro. Like, shut up, bro. I hate Gilbert. I can't stand that man. He's been doing too much.
He would beat Magny. He would beat Masvidal. He would beat Thompson. Luque, he would destroy Leon.
Ooh.
Gilbert Burns.
That hurt him.
Honestly, I think Luque is the best matchup because Luque is just enough of an evil, sinister person himself to like. Luque is a violent man.
I would love to see Luque. I would love to see Luque get that shot, and I would love to see Chimaev get that shot. It's such a huge opportunity for both of them. That would be so much fun.
Luque is the kind of guy who's built to like ruin a party. Like he's there to ruin people's ascents. Like
that's the only way you stop chaos is with more chaos.
And he's that guy.
I'm scared. The way that Chimaev is about to be used, the way I'm scared is about to happen is that they're going to use Chimaev as the UFC enforcer against Nate Diaz, who's on the last fight of his deal. If you turn down a fight, the UFC comes to you with an opponent, you say, I don't want to fight that person. They have the option to extend your service by 6 months. So this could be a game. Obviously, we all know that Nate Diaz should not be in there with Chimaev.
Nate's not going to fall for it. I mean, I love my man and everything, but he's not going to fall for that. He already said they might have already tried it because that maybe is why he was tweeting the other day, I'm not taking anybody that's not top 4. I'm not taking anybody that's top 5.
Good.
He was just tweeting that shit the other day. Yeah. I didn't even want him to take the Luque fight. I love Nate with my heart. He's the reason I love this sport the way I do, but I didn't even want him to take the Luque fight. Like, put him in there with Wonder Boy. Just like try to kick each other's heads off. Let's do that.
I don't want Nate anywhere near that man Chimaev. I want Nate to fight Tony. I want him to go fight.
Yeah.
Go fight Tony Ferguson or other old guys or other guys who are not in contention. I also didn't like the Luque fight because Luque is a monster. He will put Nate in the dirt. I don't want to see my Nate Diaz go out like that because he's not on that level anymore. And I would like to see him fight Tony Ferguson, beat the shit out of Tony Ferguson. I'm into that. I don't want to see him be destroyed by Luque or even worse, be destroyed by Chimaev while Chimaev is yelling at Dana White. I don't necessarily want to see that. So hopefully that does not happen.
Agreed.
So I don't know what Leach went out very sad. We'll see him again, I guess, but holy shit. Last fight on the main card was the Ankalaev fight. I thought he would finish this fight. He did not, but he looked great. And now he's going to get a huge fight. I already saw people saying that maybe he'll fight Jan next. So he's going to get a pretty big fight coming
it's
up.
Such a soft division. It's such a soft division. He's the only he's the only upwardly mobile. He's a handful of upwardly mobile guys right now that, sky's the limit as to where they could go. There's actual potential there. Like nobody's proven where his ceiling is yet.
So the rankings come out tomorrow. This will be the first. Is Costa already ranked in the light heavyweight division, or have they not done that yet? I would like to see where they put him. I need to see where they put him and who he's going to fight. But Ankalaev got the win. Also, we always forget about Rakic because Rakic hasn't fought in a while, but he's like the number 3 lightweight in the world. Like he's got to get a fight here soon.
Yeah. Well, supposedly him and Anthony Smith were going to run it back.
I would like to see that.
Anthony Smith called him out after that most recent win, and Rakic responded back pretty positively on Twitter, like, "Yeah, let's do it."
I need to see
on that whole division.
I also like that. Go ahead.
That and heavyweight division, like, let's just get to the championship fights, and otherwise, like, let them guys fight on like a Tuesday night or some shit. Like, otherwise,
are you trying to tell me that
you're not flooding some of these fight cards?
Are you trying to tell me that you're not excited for Dawkins versus the Black Beast? That's not a fight that is making you very excited to watch.
So tired of watching Lewis fight. Like, if you want to just give me like an hour of his promos and interviews, sure, I'll watch it, but I'm not really wanting to watch him fight ever again.
That's fair.
The power screaming "my balls are hot" has had on his career, like in the minds of people, is impressive to me. Like he eked out a last minute KO against Volkov, who we've already decided nobody really likes, and because he cut the greatest WWE promo of all time, it's suddenly everybody just thought he could fight.
Exactly he beat Francis in the worst fight of MMA
the worst
history.
Fight of all time.
That's the second worst.
Like fight. I'm not going to deny the man has an absolutely impeccable KO punch, but the footwork is I've seen better bar fight footwork.
When he fought Gon, when he fought Gon, I said this guy is standing in mud and Gon is just peppering him up. This is awful. This is
Gon's
not fun to
athlete. Watch. Gon's an athlete. Gon is like what happens if you teach Aaron Donald like kickboxing. That's an athlete.
Sold on him, but we'll see soon enough, right?
We're gonna see.
Oh, I'm hyped for that fight. I'm not
on
calling that one. I'm not putting no money on that fight because that's who knows who's going to sleep there. Somebody's going to sleep.
I swear to God, if Francis doesn't win that fight, I'm gonna be furious. Anybody else?
Yeah,
we should talk about the ref. The ref from
we gotta talk about how I cursed T-Man.
But I am such a Reba stan. Hey, she likes my tweets every once in a while. So hey, boo.
Yeah, no,
she did cook. She looked great.
I'm very interested to see where she goes from here. Like she should seriously be looking at top 3, top 4 after that one.
She was striking to strike and not striking to set up takedowns, and it was very clear that she's like, she's actually striking to land strikes.
She stepped her striking up a lot Because I mean, she kind of had the same
great.
problem like Dern had for a while, and granted, she beat Dern, but where the jiu-jitsu is just a lot better than the striking, and it seems like she's made the steps in the right direction to balance out her game.
She looked great. Great performance by her. I can't wait to see what they put her up against next.
There was actually the prelims were the best part of the. I mean, outside of
the prelims were fire.
The prelims were some of the best prelims there've been in a minute. Like there were a lot of good fights, but yeah, the ref getting kicked out was the shining star of that.
During the Dos Santos San Denis fight, there was a local ref. They were in Abu Dhabi, so sometimes they use like local refs and they try to give them a shot in a big spot. And
the street.
He had two fights scheduled.
He does Russian MMA. I think the Twitter account Grabaka Hitman was talking about it, and he said the guy does
perfect.
Yeah, Grabaka was talking. He knew who the ref was before the fight started. He was like, "This guy's an animal. He will let anything happen," and he called it.
That was his reputation.
Yeah.
See, now this is Dana's. This is Dana's fault. This is insane. That fight was going very badly, and props to Saint Denis. Apparently, he's like French special forces or some shit. Like he was never going to
talking about it.
Stop
like
trying to fight.
Like he's special forces, so he's been tortured before. And I'm like, no, that's not making it better. Like this is awful.
No. If you can withstand waterboarding, you almost shouldn't be a fighter because that's too tough for your own fucking good.
That fight should have been stopped about 7 different times in that second round.
The announcer and then when it was stopped, he took a point for like the most inadvertent groin strike I've ever seen.
And he was like, "That's that Dave Chappelle throw water off the table shit." He was like, "I'm gonna distract everybody with all the other shit I'm doing. Let me take a point."
They literally said, "Okay." They had to stop the fight, and they were like, "We got to bring a doctor in to look at his eye." And then the doctor never came in. They were just like, "Oh, the ref decided not to bring the doctor in." I'm like, "Is he watching the same fight? Like this fighter is not there." Thank God they took him off the card. They didn't let him do the next fight. I don't think I've ever seen. Even Herb Dean was blushing. Like Herb Dean himself was blushing. Like, holy shit, you let that fight keep going? Like,
it was the craziest thing to see. Like, I think it was like midway through the second round where DC and everybody were like, "Stop the fight!" and they're like yelling it like they could hear him. I'm like, bro, what is this?
Yeah,
it was the craziest scene.
Felder was getting spicy.
Felder was
then when he stopped for the eye, he was livid. I was tweeting at Felder. I was like, "Felder, put hands on him." Just storm the cage, Felder. You can do it.
Felder was furious, and it has to not be good if you're a fighter, especially to watch a fighter get bludgeoned. Like, I mean,
nobody
Dos Santos was looking at the ref like, "Are you not going to stop this fight? Because I can keep punching him."
Punched him one time and looked at the ref like, "Bro,
like you're not going to stop this?
Stop that! Don't make me do this. I'm not trying to be Boom Boom Mancini, dude. I'm not trying to walk out of here like with a body on my record, please."
Yeah, like that's not what. It's insane if the fighter himself who's inflicting the damage is like, "Yo, ref, I really don't want to inflict any more damage, but like I have to inflict more damage if you don't stop the fight." That's a good indication to a ref or anybody with a brain. Like, I should probably stop this fight.
You see that. Okay, so you've been slacking up until then. And then now that guy hits that dude with a 6-piece combo in the teeth. You can feel safe to like, we're all on the same page here. You can wave it off, buddy. We're good. But no, he was trying to he was trying to catch the first body in UFC history. Like he might be a mole. Like maybe he's a plant from the PFL or something. They're trying to get him. They're trying to get a murder on ESPN.
There were literally times where Saint Denis was facing the wrong direction. Like he was just wandering around the octagon, but he was like not going towards it. I was like, he doesn't know where he is. Like, come on, ref, we got to stop this.
At all.
That could have been very. Luckily, the guy ended up being okay. That's insane. The corner doesn't throw in the towel between the second and third round, and nobody ever throws in the towel in the UFC. Happens a lot more in boxing. I guess it's like the tough guy mentality.
It honestly should. Between that one and then like the one that stands out to me is like the Anthony Smith Glover fight. Like, dude, his veneers are falling out of his mouth. His veneers are falling out of his mouth. We just all thought it was his teeth. He explained later it was his veneers, but like your teeth are falling out of your mouth. Throw the
Sometimes
towel.
You got to throw the towel in. There's no shame. There's no shame in losing because you threw the towel in. You already lost.
It should be on the corner because fighters they have a mentality.
They will never do it. Yes,
agreed. They'll never do it. But that's your job as the corner. Are you what did somebody on Twitter say? Are you just there to hold the ice, or are you this man's corner? Do your job. Do your job.
That's your
Save your
livelihood,
fighter.
So you gotta, save him, bro.
Yes.
This is your paycheck. Like, if he dies, you're hitting the Amazon factory, bro. Like, please.
You're not. Yeah, who wants to hire the corner that killed a guy?
You're hitting the Amazon
resume, like one death.
MMA on like the regional circuits, there have been deaths and shit, but inside the UFC,
died like not too long
majors,
ago,
there's never been. Boxing, it happens all the time. There was like 7 deaths like a couple years. What was it, a year or so ago? There was a bunch of them.
We almost saw one last weekend, and thank God we didn't, because holy shit, that was getting bad. Any more notes? Lerone Murphy got a big win. He beat Amir Americani.
That knee was nasty.
That knee was disgusting. That might have been the best knockout of the night. And he didn't even get a bonus. Well, he wasn't named for a bonus, but obviously other people get bonuses that are not named, and apparently he ended up getting paid. So that's good for him. But goddamn, all of our European friends and family were very happy with the outcome there, because they think this guy might be a star. I don't know. That first round didn't look too great. That guy's got to get his wrestling defense together, because he was getting dominated for a round. But I guess
the striking's there, but
the striking is definitely there. He need the shit out of this. God, please don't ever need me like that. I don't want no smoke like that. Before we get to 268, I want to talk about PFL. Clarissa Shields lost in not great fashion. The PFL put her in against another wrestler, which doesn't make sense, but obviously I'm sure Clarissa Shields had some say in who she's fighting. So I have no idea why she's in there with somebody who wrestles. I have no idea what's happening over there.
Well, okay. Are we going to act like the other girl shouldn't also have a day job, or does definitely have a day job?
I mean, that the girl was not good, which doesn't look great for Clarissa Shields, but she's early on. She's trying to figure it out. We'll give her some more time, but she did not look impressive. However, Kayla Harrison looked great. Once again, she's out of her contract now. She's a free agent. We'll see where she ends up. If I were her, I'd keep going back to the PFL and winning $1 million every year. So, that sounds pretty good. And we're fighting no one. There's no one in that whole organization that has anything to say for her. I just keep winning millions of dollars until I got tired of it. But, she also said she wants to be the best in the world. She's trained with Nunes a lot. She wants that fight, obviously, at some point in the future. It could be now, but either way she goes, she's going to get a big bag from somebody. But Dana's not going to come pay you what you're worth. So you might as well stay in the PFL and keep getting $1 million every year. I don't understand why you would ever think about it.
You're a fighter like that, you want to get that money. You want to say that you were the top dog for UFC. So I think that would be the big appeal.
And she can immediately step into a title fight. She could fight a 1-fight contract and immediately step into a title fight.
Exactly.
Because there's nobody. Nunes has watched those divisions so out. There's nobody you could even argue is next in line if Kayla were to sign.
It's like look at Horseface. Horseface just won $1 million at the PFL, and he was getting washed in the UFC, and all of a sudden he goes over there and wins $1 million. I think more of these mid-level kind of fighters. Not to say Kayla Harrison's a mid-level fighter, but if it's me, if I'm 2-2, 3-3 in the UFC and not really going anywhere, I'm gonna go over to the PFL and make $1 million.
I'm trying to see in a couple of years, maybe like Nate Diaz, welterweight PFL champ. I'll take $1 million back to Stockton.
Sign me up. I want to see Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz go to 2 different divisions in the PFL and both go for $1 million.
Yeah. Just get your money, take it back home.
That's also the worst paced fight card I've ever seen in my life. It was like 8 hours long. It was insane,
bro.
Insane.
I tried to stay up, and I was like, "Damn, yo, it's like 10 o'clock."
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
They started running
insane
20 minutes. They started running 20-minute recaps and shit just in the middle of the card. It's like there can't be enough advertising money in this show. Not enough people are watching PFL. I'm sorry. The shit's on an app. It's on an app. It's on ESPN2. Come on, dog. Just let's go. We're here. We're all watching. We're here. Play some Skittles commercials and let's get this thing moving.
Now we have to talk about this coming weekend. New York. And the Big Apple, me and Stefan should have been there, but due to institutional racism, we will not be there. But UFC 268 is this weekend. And the headline is obviously my GOAT, Kamaru Usman, running it back against Donald Trump's favorite fighter, Colby Covington. And will you please tell me, Stefan, why you are nervous about this fight?
Said it 100 times, and I really, really mean it. Colby is a piece of shit as a person. I don't want anybody to ever think otherwise. But as a fighter, he is legit. Like, that is the fight that I think I've watched most out of every UFC fight ever in my life. And that was a absolute damn dog fight. Like, up until that third round, it was like, fuck. I'll never forget being in that bar. It was like so many MAGA people had on their MAGA shirts and hats. And it was like a race war in there. I felt the tension. And like, for him to, like, if he didn't dislocate his jaw, we have no clue where that fight could have won, because it was close. Like, if you take the bias out of it and watch it, I don't know, y'all. And anything can happen.
I think what to take, though, from it is who's improved and who do we still figure is the same.
Yes, thank you.
We've seen Kamara actively improve. Like, I'm sorry, that fight was exciting, but it was also watching two wrestlers learn how to box. Like, I kept yelling the entire time. I was at a house party, and I kept screaming that they both had sock'em boppets on. Like, they had them, like, inflatable, you used to buy off the TV. Because there was zero defense. They're just wailing on each other's faces. And if either of them had KO power, that fight would have been over 2 rounds earlier. The way they were just hitting each other in the head.
With Usman, he's become such a great striker. And I get it. He's improved. That's not even a question. But my thing is, when is it going to backfire on him? Because, I mean, he's so worried about his striking that he's forgot about that he's a great wrestler.
What if Colby actually does try to wrestle him?
Yep. And there was a time where in that round, he got stunned before when Colby hit him. I mean, Colby almost knocked him out one time. So I'm just, I don't know. It's just like, it's so much more than a fight. It's like the election all over again.
UFC champion Colby Covington is some shit that will have me like standing, looking out a window in my house, contemplating.
You remember like the girl crying when they announced Donald Trump won, and she's like has on a construction outfit? That is gonna be me in a random bar. If he knew, I'm just gonna be like screaming. Y'all are gonna see me all over Twitter, like big black guy screams in Twin Peaks.
Well, the thing is, I feel remiss to not mention this is actually a MAGA battle in and of itself. Like, Usman was at the Trump rallies. Like, either way, MAGA wins.
This whole card is full of MAGA fighters.
No. When was this?
Usman and Masvidal were at a Trump rally.
Don't lie. Come on. No,
and Trump,
y'all might mess up my mood.
Google it. I'm sorry, man. It's a MAGA battle.
Oh, man.
Him and Masvidal were showing feet at the Trump rally.
I'm about to Google that.
Trump thanks Kamaru Usman. Yes, this is true. This is true.
Oh Lord, Jesus help me.
Trump tased Masvidal and Usman during the this is not good.
I don't mean to ruin your guys' hero worship here or anything, but
this hurts me.
How did I never know this?
It's an inconvenient thing people don't like to even talk about.
Oh, Usman, why would you do this?
Oh no.
I will say I agree with Luke. Colby's only fought one fight since that fight. He fought Tyron Woodley and he finished him, but really, so he was winning. He was winning the fight. Yes, exactly. Like, that doesn't mean much to me now. I understand why they both.
And he still couldn't strike with him. He
could not strike with him. He started wrestling and he was a much better wrestler. I understand that Usman and Colby both went to the last fight thinking, I'm not going to go for any takedowns because the other guy has such great takedown defense. Usman's never been taken down in a UFC fight.
They don't even want to test each other's wrestling.
Yeah. If I use all this energy to try to take you down and don't take you down, now I'm at a disadvantage on the feet, which is where we're going to be anyway. I understood that. I think this fight goes differently. I think that it's competitive for a couple rounds, and I think Usman starches him in about round 3. I don't think we're going to get the instant classic we got last time because I think Usman's gotten better where Colby has stayed the same because Colby ain't been in there against no killers. He just hasn't. And I think, obviously, you want to get back in there and avenge the loss, but I think he should have taken another fight against a killer and gone in there and gotten better. And we haven't seen Colby. Colby's saying he's gotten better. Not at this stage in his career. Now, I would never disrespect Woodley. Please don't twist my words.
No,
not twist my words.
I'm seriously joking because Woodley's trash.
Yeah, Woodley got killed by a YouTube kid, man. He had to tattoo a YouTube kid's name on his body.
I don't know, y'all. That
No
fight
comment.
just scares me. It absolutely scares the shit out of me for that fight.
I get it. I get it, but I just don't see it. If it happens, it's like one of those fights that I wouldn't be shocked. I won't be shocked, but I
will be shocked.
Just don't see it. I won't be shocked, but
no,
I don't think Usman should be as heavy a favorite as he is. Like him walking in as like a negative 300, I think is a little wild.
Is that what it's up to?
Yep,
he's at negative 300. He's like negative 300.
Yep.
Colby's walking in as a plus 240.
Plus 235.
You might have to get that value bet.
Don't do right. Might have to put some mega bucks on it.
Y'all gonna have to give me some picks. I've already picked Usman. Y'all gonna have to tell me who wins this fight, and I'm keeping track of it.
I'm picking Usman.
Oh, definitely Usman. So now we're gonna get like the college game day tweet of all of us picking the same person, and they all lose.
That's what's gonna be,
guys. You know what? I won't feel bad. I'm not picking Colby. Here, I'll put the end note on it. I'm not picking Colby out of for immoral reasons. I don't care how. If he was coming in as the negative 300 favorite, I'm not doing it. There's certain people I won't bet on. Like I just won't do it, and I'm not living that way. That's dirty money. You win money on Colby Covington, you're going to hell. That's dirty money. You might as well sell drugs. You might as well sell drugs. That's cleaner money. It's cleaner money. Like it's less morally dubious. I'm sorry, it is.
If y'all haven't seen the first fight, go. It is an absolute classic. The tension is in the building.
Top 5 fight all time.
You have to go watch that fight. I'm sure most of you have seen it. Even if you have seen it, I'm gonna go watch. I watched it again last night. I'm gonna watch it again tonight. It's a great rewatch. But that is the main event of the night. But right under that is time for more slander hours because we got Rose Namajunas, the champion, is rematching the now challenger Weili, and then right now they got Rose at minus 105 and Weili's at minus 115. So this is about an even fight. The odds are pretty even right now in this fight. Stefan, I know you have a lot to say about the way this last fight went down, so I'll start with you.
It was fraudulent. Go back and watch the fight. But
my God.
Look, I mean, I don't even think she was out. I think it was a quick call for that, first off. Secondly, I mean, it was just a fluke strike. It happens all the time. Like fluke things happens in sport. So we're going to get another bout. It's going to end completely different. So go ahead and put me down for Weili. I'm going to keep my record. I'm going to keep this lead. And I know you're going to pick Thug Rose, who is also very MAGA and anti-vax. So go ahead, Teach.
Oh, I want to take the slander a step further before I make my pick.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about the lane Namajunas decided to pick going into this. The communist avenger, Rose Namajunas, whose defense was communists killed my grandfather, and upon further looking into that, her father was a member of a pro-German militarized group and was killed by the Soviet Union in defense of Nazi Germany. So if that's the communist killed my grandpa you want to hang your hat on, all the power to you, Rose. Please, by all means, defend your dead Polish Nazi grandpa.
Objectively cringeworthy stuff from Rose Namajunas. Listen, Thug Rose is a bad person, but she's also the better fighter. What happened last time was not a fluke. You got to protect yourself at all times in that ring. And Weili got caught slipping and got her head kicked off. And I don't think that the fight ends the same way because I don't think it's going to end that fast, but it's going to have the same result. Rose is going to knock Weili out. I'm calling it a round 4. It's going to be a knockout. Rose is just too good of a boxer. Her footwork's too good. I don't think that Weili is going to be able to hang with that. That's why she got her head kicked off, because she's worried about the hands and then didn't see the foot that came up to her head and kicked her head off. The hands are going to shine through in this match, and Rose is going to win this fight.
The only advantage she has is Trevor Whitman. Outside of that, she has no advantage. The last fight was a fluke. I promise you, I'm standing on this. If Thug Rose wins, I want y'all to camp out in my mentions and just slander me all day long. Not happening.
I hope that y'all heard that, because when it happens, I want y'all to live up to that. Y'all need to be in this man's mention because he's been lying. He's telling lies about that last fight. He's telling lies about the new fight, and we're gonna see what happens on Saturday.
I gotta go Rose with my brain, but I don't want to. I really don't. My heart wants. I almost want to go Whaley just because at least I'll get slandered. Like Stefan will take most of the brunt. Like he'll be the what's the meme with the guy standing over the. He'll be the one. Put me down for Whaley. I will go for Whaley just because I don't want to bet on dead. I don't want to bet on a Polish Nazi grandpa woman. I just don't want to do it. And if that gets me slandered, then fine, I'll take it.
We are fine, brother. Stand strong on Saturday.
The only reason I'm leaning this way, and the only reason I'm even willing to go there is the Joanna Whaley fight was such a classic, and she was able to hang with a kickboxer like that. I think she comes in a little more prepared. We've already seen she's pretty durable. I think she could. I think if she wins, it's by decision, though. I don't think she puts Rose to sleep.
I would agree with that.
She should suplex her and drop her on her head, in my opinion, but I don't.
That seems to have worked in the past against.
It worked very well in the past. She almost retired. She was like ready to quit fighting. We were this close. It's gone.
That's the co-main.
We don't get her little stupid chant like she did last time. That pissed me off too. What was she saying?
She's saying I'm the best, and she's gonna do it again, and then she's gonna win the fight.
Yeah, she's gonna get knocked the hell out.
All right. The next fight on the card is what we mentioned it earlier. Gaethje Chandler. Right now, Gaethje's a minus 210 favorite. Gaethje's
the superior MAGA battle, in my opinion.
And Chandler is a plus 170 favorite. Is Gaethje MAGA? I would not be surprised. I know Chandler is. He loves America too much.
Yes. No, they both MAGA as hell. Yeah, Gaethje was at the battle of the MAGA superstars. Him and Colby went together and actually did the photo op with Trump. They did the whole thing.
Don't they hate each other now? But they used to not hate each other.
Everybody hates Colby. Like you can agree with Colby politically and still hate his guts. Like
it's still hate him. That's fair. That's fair.
Anybody that's talked to Colby for more than 15, 20 minutes hates him.
This fight's going to be great. We've already talked about it earlier. The winner of this fight might be the next title contender after Charlie Olives.
If Gaethje wins, he is. If Chandler does, I don't see it. You might have to fight Islam or somebody.
No, wait a second. Because if Chandler wins and Poirier wins, I think that they would make that fight.
That fight could happen. Agreed.
It would be a fun fight too.
Fair enough. That would be a good fight. I take it back.
They're not going to run Chandler back with Charlie Olives, and they're not going to run Poirier back. Poirier's already fought Gaethje, which they might be more likely to run back because those two dudes are just super popular and they both be coming off a win. So that might come back. They're definitely more likely to make that fight if those two dudes win than if the other two dudes win. But this could be a title eliminator. Chandler's coming off of his loss to Charlie Olives. And the last time we saw Gaethje was when he lost to Poirier. Wait, his last time Gaethje fought was Poirier or was it Khabib?
Khabib.
It was Khabib. That's right.
No, he fought Poirier years ago. Poirier starched him like 3-4 years back. It's been a while. Yeah.
They might run that.
They haven't fought recently.
If those two dudes win, they might run that fight back, which I would love to see.
Oh, absolutely. That's a rematch because Poirier's got the KO over his head.
Nobody's gonna beat DP unless they are wrestling him. That's the only.
Also, though, hasn't Poirier hinted at the fact that he's taking the belt and retiring? I don't know how true that is.
Something about like taking big money fights now. The hot sauce.
I can see it. I can see him taking Nate.
Gaethje fits both molds, though. If he wins the belt and he wants to make money, a good money Gaethje fight. Might be the biggest money fight out there if Gaethje wins this fight.
No, it's not. No, it's not that.
I'm sorry.
Money.
It's not going to be Nate Connor. Money. Okay, that's fair.
But it'll be good money. Like it'll still be good money. But
I would love to see it. I don't know who I'm picking in this fight, so I'm gonna let y'all pick first because I have no fucking idea who wins.
I'll go Gaethje straight off the bat. I think Gaethje is a special kind of violent individual. I think if somebody gets the flash knockout, it's Gaethje. I'm going Gaethje all the way.
Who you take?
I agree. I think I go the same way, especially with his kicks. I think his kicks are really underrated. So I think
kicks are super nasty.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the difference.
I think Chandler has to wrestle that one.
They're both really.
I feel like he almost kind of has to ruin the show, which he claims
Gaethje can wrestle. Gaethje can wrestle too.
That's right. I always forget Gaethje's NCAA, and he just doesn't ever wrestle.
They're both very underrated wrestlers.
Yeah. Chandler wears the wrestling thing more as like part of his game, though. But
Chandler loves America too much for me to ever pick him. I love Justin Gaethje. I'm gonna go with Gaethje.
Honestly, though, this is one you're doomed either way. They are both.
They both love America.
Both, yeah,
and the Republican Party.
Camo wearing motherfuckers, man. You're losing either way.
I think this is gonna be a great fight. Justin Gaethje stands out in a sport where everybody is particularly violent, as an extremely violent man who is more than willing to take a punch to go in there and get a punch. But we've seen what Chandler can do with his hands in Bellator. We saw what Chandler can do with his hands against Dan Hooker. So it's going to be, I'm going to bet whatever the line is. I haven't looked it up yet, that this fight doesn't make it the distance.
According to what I wrote down earlier, it was Gaethje 190, Chandler 160. I would take the Chandler at 160 just because it's a way above less than zero chance. Chandler.
Yep. I mean, these guys both have enough power behind them so this fight could end in a millisecond. This is going to be fun as hell to watch. And Chandler's already been saying, part of it is gamemanship, but Chandler's already been saying, I'm not going to take a step backwards. And I that is my number one rule of fighting is why
if he's telling the truth,
why he's going to get knocked out.
Why he's going to go into sleep. Now, I hope he's lying for himself. I hope
he needs to be lying. You can't fight Justin Gaethje like that.
No, you're not. The human highlight reel. I mean, it's not that Gaethje can't be put to sleep like Poirier did it, but you're not. That's not the smart money. That ain't the fucking game plan I'd walk in with. I'm gonna put Justin Gaethje to sleep. Is not the game plan I would run with.
In the first 10 seconds of that fight, I want to see the real estate. I want to see who's taking the center of the octagon, who's finding out their back foot. Because if Chandler is telling the truth, I think he's putting himself in immense amounts of danger early in that fight. He needs to feel the fight out a little bit first, because holy shit, you try that shit against Gaethje, you might be.
He needs to test Gaethje's cardio. Is what he needs to do if he was smart. He's got to drag it out and hope he can tire him going into 4 or 5. Or is that only 3? That's only a 3-round bout.
It's only a 3-round fight.
So nobody might get tired.
It's going to be booming in that fight. They are coming out.
Yeah. If it weren't the obvious choice, this would be the ultra violence pick of the week, but it's too obvious. I have a sleeper for later.
You definitely have to give us your ultra violence pick of the week. I was hoping it would not.
Dude, I almost cursed.
It's too easy.
You almost killed somebody.
I almost disavowed it. After I almost had that special forces man from France killed.
You literally almost had somebody killed with the ultra violence.
You are the Madden curse. We are not allowing you to pick that. I'm not responsible for
No. I'm not making. No, I have a sleeper fight. Do you have any feelings about Edmund Shabazian? Because I'm picking Shabazian Imanov as that's the real ultra violence pick of the week.
They're both a couple of ultra violence pick of the night.
Pick of the week. Yeah, pick of the night is Shabazian Imanov. Imanov's on his way up. Shabazian has been humbled severely after his 11-0 run with damn near 10 or 11 KOs, submissions, finishes. He's kind of on his way down. The other guy's on his way up, and neither of them are like going to wrestle. So it's that's where the ultra violence magic happens.
That makes a lot of sense. We got 2 more fights on the main card. We got Burgos and Quantillo, and Burgos is a -200 favorite, and Quantillo is plus 160. Who y'all got in this fight?
I'm going for the upset. I'm going Quantillo.
There you go. He is the better striker and the better submission wrestler. So I'm going to go with him as well.
Yeah, Burgos. I mean, I get he needs to. What is he on a 2? Is he on a 2-fight skid?
2-fight skid, yes.
2-fight skid.
Yep. So I mean, that's kind of a dangerous man because like he needs this win bad. But Quarantillo he's nice. He's nice, and Burgos has proven to be very mortal. And the fact that Quarantillo as the underdog, that to me as just a gambling addict is just the way to go. Like, you want to give me the underdog and I like him better? There it is.
Burgos got his brain reset the last time he was out there. His brain did a hard reset. So I'm not holding those losses against him because his brain got reset. I like Burgos, and obviously with 2 losses, you're always getting scared that 3rd loss or that 4th loss could be you getting dropped from the roster. So I think Burgos is going to have a lot to fight for here. This is a tough fight to pick. I really wanted to pick Quantillo because of the gambling line, just like Luke did, but I picked Burgos. So I'm alone again on this one. God, if I get cooked on this card and y'all just cook me, I'm going to be so
well, okay. This is good for you, though, because it's either going to go one of two ways. You could get cooked.
Oh, God.
Otherwise,
if I'm cooking y'all, the slander's going to go crazy.
We're picking similar. So you're gonna get to fire a lot of tweets off.
I tell Teach all the time, y'all never hear me, but on these numbered cards, I am like a magician.
Except for last week, you missed 2.
No, I still have evidence that I had to make those picks.
All right, we got one more main card fight, which is going to be Frankie Edgar and Marlon Vera. Frankie Edgar is the plus 140 underdog, and Marlon Vera is the minus 170 favorite. And this is for betting purposes and because I love Frankie Edgar. I'm taking Edgar, but holy shit, I'm scared for him. I'm very scared for him, but I'm taking Frankie
I don't
Edgar
think this weight cut he's doing now is in his best interest. Ever since he went down in weight, he's got a split. He's got one split decision win at this weight. I love Frankie. A lot of good memories watching Frankie fights. After what Sandhagen did to him, I don't know if I see it. I don't know if I see it for Frankie anymore.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Cheeto in this one.
Y'all both, God damn it. I'm
going Cheeto. I got to go with Cheeto. Even though I will say, if Frankie knocks him out, fucking good for Frankie. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not super high on Cheeto in general. Like, he put O'Malley in the mud, and that was cool. I appreciated that. But
all right, now that was fraudulent.
I'm
the biggest Sean O'Malley hater ever. I'm gonna have to watch myself because I'll say things about Irish people I can't take back on the internet. But I am anti Sean O'Malley across the board. You will never hear me say a nice thing about him. I
feel like he fought so well against Aldo. So I gotta go with Cheeto here.
Cheeto did fight a good fight against Aldo.
Very good fight. So Tej, scary hours.
Well, I'm by myself on 3 of these fights. Oh, that's scary. I just need the guys to let me come through and cook. So I can talk my shit for one afternoon or one evening. Like we said, this is UFC 268. We'll be tuned in. Obviously, we appreciate y'all for showing up for us, and we'll be back to recap it. Luke, we love having you guys. Happy to have you back, man. You were amazing.
Hey, anytime, man. Anytime.
You definitely.
I love talking this shit. So you guys bring me on. Shit, I'll do the ultra violence picks all you want. Just let me know.
No, we are not doing that. We are not responsible. You are a lawyer.
The negative energy outbreak. Fair enough.
This is negligence. We are not letting this man. We're not doing that.
We're gonna have a good time watching fights. Y'all know where to find us on Twitter. Obviously, we have the Underhooks Pod, but I'll be tweeting from my account. Stephon be tweeting from his account. Luke obviously is always tweeting about the UFC. So if you are a UFC fan or UFC casual or have never watched MMA before, this is the card that you need to tune into. It is going to be the CTE Super Bowl. It's going to be incredible. A lot of people are going to go out very sad. Somebody's getting embarrassed on this card, and I can't wait to see it.
People are going to sleep.
Cannot wait. We had a great week of great week of MMA last week. We're going to have another great week this week. So thank y'all for tuning in.